Hello everybody and welcome to Friday's maths lesson. You have done it. It's Friday, Funky Friday. You've worked really hard this week with your home learning and we are so proud of you. So I hope you feel really good about yourself. I'm really proud and you're ready for your last maths lesson of the week. Now, you have worked so hard that I think you deserve a bit of a treat today. So we're going to have a quick remember of all the things we've done this week in maths, and then you should have some time to play some maths games to practice those skills. So hopefully you'll have a really lovely day doing that. But before we do that, we need to make sure that we know all the learning to play the games. So the first thing we're going to look at is the time, telling the time. So on Monday, one of your activities was telling the time. Now, telling the time on clocks is quite tricky, so it's always worth practicing. Wonder if you can look at my clock and tell the person near you what time it is. What time is it on my clock? Look really carefully. We have our long blue hand here, this long hand here. The long hand on your clock, it might not be blue, but the long hand always points at the minutes. How many minutes have passed? So it goes all the way around counting the minutes. And this short hand here on my clock, it's red. It might be different on your clock. This short hand here, it tells us the hour. So looking at this clock, what is the hour? What is the time? I hope that you said it is 5 o'clock because here my hour hand is pointing to that 5 and the long hand is pointing to the top. And the way I remember that is that I say o'clock to the top. So if that long hand that counts in minutes is pointing to the top, it's an o'clock time. Can you say that? O'clock to the top. So every time you see this long hand pointing up to the top, it's an o'clock time. O'clock to the top. I wonder if you can tell me what time I am now. I've changed the time. What time is it now? It's not an o'clock time anymore because my long hand isn't pointing to the top. It's not o'clock to the top pointing at this 12. It's somewhere different. I wonder if you know what time it is now. Can you tell the person next to you what's the time? I hope you've said it's past, because my long hand is now not pointing to the top of the clock, the number 12. It's pointing to the bottom, to the number 6. And when this long hand points at the 6 at the bottom, it's always going to be a past time. The way I remember that is our o'clock is to the top. When it points at the 12, it is an o'clock time, that long hand. When the long hand is at the top, it is o'clock to the top. When the long hand cuts the clock in half, it's a past time. Now I'm going to do something a bit cheeky. Everybody, I hope Mrs. Godding isn't watching. Oh, look. That would be if the long hand was an o'clock time pointing to the top. When it cuts the clock in half, that long hand, here it is cutting my clock in half, it goes to past. So I remember it as that long hand goes o'clock to the top, cut it in half, cut that clock in half. It has to be a past time. So can you say it with me? O'clock to the top, cut it in half past. So if my long hand is ever pointing to that o'clock time, no, it's an o'clock time, we've just had 5 o'clock. When that long hand points down to the bottom and it cuts my clock in half, it's a past time. So what was this time? Past. This is where it gets quite tricky because my short hand here that counts the hours is sort of in the middle of the 5 and the 6, which makes it tricky. But it is past 5 because that small hand, that short hand, is just past the 5. So it is past 5 because it's just gone just past the 5. Okay, tricky, but I hope you've had a really good go. Okay, I'm going to give you another time. I'm going to turn it around so you can't see. What time shall I make you? I know. I'm going to show you this one. What time is it now? I hope you've said it's an o'clock time because it's at the top at that 12, and it is 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Going to change the time again. How tricky shall I be? Oh, it is very tricky, this one. Let's see if you can do it. What time is it now? I hope you're saying that longhand has cut the clock in half. It's pointing at the bottom at the 6. So it's half past something. And that hand here, that shorthand, that hour hand has gone just past the number 1, just past. So it is 1:30. 1:30. Okay, if you're feeling really clever, you might have gone on to some of these times. And for these times, I also like to draw on the clock. Sorry, Mrs. Gooding. Because now my clock isn't just cut in half. I've cut it into, I hope you're going to say I've cut it into quarters, into 4 equal parts. My clock is now in quarters because when my long hand points at the 3, that is a quarter past time. Quarter past, not half past yet, quarter past. This is the past side of my clock. Getting very cheeky now. Past. The other side of my clock is called the to part. So here it is. Sorry, Mrs. Godding again. This is the past side and this is the to side. So this one has cut my clock in quarters on the past side. So it is quarter past. I hope you're going to say 1:15 because it is just past the 1, that hour hand. So it is 1:15. If I keep going round, it will get to 1:30. If I keep going round a bit further, it's on that quarter line again. So it's a quarter time. It's quarter, and this is to side. It is 1:45. It is nearly what time? 1:45. It's nearly at the 2. So it's 1:45 because the next place it will go to is to this time, which I'm hoping you're going to shout at me is 2 o'clock. There's quite a lot of learning there. Now, the game I sent you to play today with the times, some of them are just o'clock times, o'clock to the top. Some of them are just half past times, so cut your clock in half past. If you fancy a challenge, there are some games that do these 1:45, so it's nearly there. It's the clock's cut in quarters. It's quarter of the way to the next hour. And there are some that do 1/4 as well. It's quarter of the way past the hour. So that's your clock game for today. That was your clock revision. If you want to pause the video now and play the clock games, the time games, you can do. Or you might want to listen to the rest of the input. I'll let you decide. So that's our clock revision. Okay. The next thing we're going to quickly remember is our 1 more and our 1 less. 1 more and 1 less. We played some games with that this week as well. So I'm going to think of a number and you are going to tell me what is 1 more. So my number is, let's start with this number here. My number is, and I hope you said 10. My number is 10. What is 1 more than 10? 1 more, 1 extra 1 than 10. Have a think. What is 1 more than 10? 1 more. Okay, I hope you said that 1 more than 10 is 11. If you find this a bit tricky, you can use a number line or a ruler or something similar to help you find the numbers. I've got 10. 1 more than 10. I jump on 1 more. 1 more than 10 is 11. I hope you said 1 more than 10 is 11. Brilliant. Okay, you've told me 1 more than 10. Now I'm going to ask you to tell me 1 less. So my number I'm going to give you is the number 7. And what is 1 less than 7? 1 less than 7. think. 1 less than 7. Here's my number line. If I'm not sure, I find the number 7. And this time I'm not finding more, I'm finding less. I am taking 1 away. So on my number line, I go backwards 1. I'm counting backwards, backwards 1. 1 less than 6 is 1 less than 7. Here's 6. I gave you the answer. Okay, I'm going to give you a slightly larger number. I'm going to give you this number here. What number have we got? It's 20. I would like you to say, what is 1 more than 20? 1 more. Okay, adding 1 extra one, 1 more than 20. Again, you can get your number line. You could find 20. Here is 20. 1 more than 20. 1 extra one is, I slide 1 extra one along, 21. I hope you said 21. 1 more than 20 is 21. Okay, I'm going to give you 1 more. This time it's going to be a 1 less number. So I would like you to tell me what is 1 less than, oh, I'm going to be sneaky. 1 less than, what's that number? I hope you said 29. What is 1 less than 29? So again, if I'm not sure I can find my number line, I'm going to find 29 on my number line. 1 less than 29. I jump back 1 space to 28. 1 less than 29 is 28. Now, there are some games for you to play, and they can go up to some really big numbers, so 1 more and 1 less. So have a go, see which numbers you want to start with. You can challenge yourself. Remember, when you're doing your maths, we don't want anything that's really, really too hard, but something that's a little bit of a challenge, a little bit harder, helps our brains grow. I hope you're saying bigger and bigger. So don't pick anything too easy either. So if you'd like to go and play the 1 more and 1 less games now, you can do, and then you can come back. Or you can listen to me tell you a little bit more, remind you a little bit about place value, about our 10s and 1s. So if you'd like to pause the video and play the game now, you can, or you can stay with me to the next part. Okay, so place value, our 10s and our 1s. Here are my 10s and 1s I used the other day. I can use base 10. Probably don't have base 10 at home, but that's fine. You can use something else. You might want to use those 10s frames that we sent home on Dojo to make your numbers. Or you might have used those straws and things like that earlier in the week. You could use those. We're just going to have a quick reminder of our 10s and 1s. So I'm going to tell you a number. You're going to tell me how many 10s and 1s are in it. You can make the number, or you could just tell me. So I'm going to write a number. Let's start with this number here, okay? And I would like you to tell me how many 10s and how many 1s are in it. And if you had a really good go earlier at the week at doing our part but wholes, what parts is it made up of? So my number is, I hope you said 14. The whole number is 14. I'd like you to tell me how many 10s and how many 1s are in 14. So here's my number, 14. How many 10s and how many 1s? I'm going to make it. Okay, here I go. Bit tricky on my whiteboard. I'm going to give it a go. So I'm looking carefully which one shows me how many 10s and which one shows me how many 1s. See if I can balance it on. It is difficult. Okay, I have made it. I don't know if you can see them all very well, but oops, I've dropped them. It's not working. I'm going to draw it. Okay, so I'm going to draw it with my 10s. So I'm going to draw my 10s and my 1s. Okay, I should have 1 10. So that means 10 little ones all pushed together. This would have 10, 1 10 and 4 1s. Now, challenge time. Can you write it in that part whole? Because we write it a bit different in that part whole to how we say it. Because we say 1 10, but we don't write the number 1 because it's not 1 by itself. It's not one single thing. It's 1 10. So when we write it in our part whole, we write 110. 10 ones. 110 and 4 ones. So I've got 14. It's made up of 110 and 4 ones. Fantastic. Okay. I am going to give you one more. I'm going to give you a bigger number this time, a bit of a trickier one. Have a go. Okay. So I'm going to give you, how hard should I go? I'm going to start here. I'm going to give you this number. So what is this number, first of all? I hope you're saying that this number is 27. 27 is this number. Now I want to know how many tens and how many ones. And if you're saying that number 27, there is a few clues there. I'm going to draw it because making it was a bit tricky to show you. So I'm going to draw how many tens that rods, how many 10 rods I need, how many tens. And I'm going to draw how many ones. Got to count them carefully so I don't make a mistake. So how many tens and how many ones in 27? I hope you said or made 20. 20. How many tens? 2 tens in 20. 20. 10 and 10 is 20. So 27 has 2 tens and 7 ones. 27. 20, 2 tens and 7 ones. 27. So you should have made or said 27 is made up of 2 tens and 7 ones. Now I'd like you to see if you can do that part whole again. 27. There are 2 ways you can get this right. 27. I'm going to show you both. So 27 is my whole number. The whole number. And then I'm going to write what it is made up of. Okay, so I've got 27. 27 is made up of 2 tens, we just said. 2 tens. So I don't write 2 because 2 is 2 ones. Okay, I write the 2 tens. And 2 tens is the same as having, I hope you said, 20. So I can write 27 is made up of 20 and how many ones? I hope you said 7. So I can write 27 when I'm thinking about place value as 2 tens, 20 and 7. And when we write it, we write 27 is the same as is equal to 20 and add 7, like this. If you wrote it like this, it is also correct. You might have written, my whole number is 27. It is made up of 2 tens. You're correct. So you can draw those tens. 1 10, 2 tens, 2 tens, and 7 ones. So you could have drawn it like this. This is also correct. 20 is made up of 2 tens, 1 10, 2 tens, and 7 ones. And you would record that as 27. Oh, you can't see that. There you go. 27 is the same as, that's our equal symbols. 27 is the same as having 2 tens. So 10 and 10 and 7. So 27 is the same as having 10 and 10 and 7. Was tricky, that one. I wonder if you managed to work it out. Well done, superstars. So that was our place value, our tens and our ones. There is also a game you can play for tens and ones. If you'd like to go and play that now, you can do that. So you can pause me and come back for the last part. Or you might want to stay with me to hear a little bit more about greater than, less than, and equal to. And I promise that is the last thing. We have been so busy this week. I am very impressed. So, last of all, what is this symbol? Tell the person next to you. I hope you said this is the equal sign. And what does equals mean? I hope you said equals means the same value. Extra brownie points if you did the action too. Equals means the same value. It is equally balanced on the same side. It is the same each side, the same value. So equals means the same value. There's our equal sign. Fantastic. Next sign is this one here. This is our, what sign? There's a big clue on my one. It's the less than sign, okay? And that's when we use our little mouse voice, because fewer is less or less is fewer. Both of them are the same, mean the same thing. You can have less or fewer. It is the same, but it means whatever I put on this side has to be less than what is on this side. So I could have, I'm going to do some balancing acts here. I've got one finger on this side and I've got two fingers on this side. So I've got 1 is less than 2. That's correct. Okay, my less than sign. So the last sign is my what sign? Again, there's the big clue on the top if you're a really good reader. It's my greater than sign. So that's our giant voice, because greater means more. Greater means more, our greater than sign. So it means whatever I put on this side has to be a greater value, a greater amount than what's on this side. And I can see that because the greatest part of the sign is here. Okay, it's showing you this bit has to be greater than the tiny little bit that's on this side. So again, I could use my fingers. I could say 5 is greater than 1. 5 is greater than 1. Okay, so as well as all the other games, there's also a greater than and less than and equal to game you can play as well. So if you'd like to go and play that, you can do. If you are feeling super confident with that, there is also a challenge lesson with the greater than, less than and equal to signs if you would like to give that a go. However, you may be exhausted after all of this maths this week, but I am really proud of you for giving it your best shot. I have heard how hard you have all worked year 1 this week, and the grown-ups too. I know that you have been perseverance penguins. Sometimes when you're at home, you don't always feel like doing all your home learning. It feels a bit strange, a bit different from being at school, but I know lots of you have persevered and given it your best shot. I know you have been resilient. Sometimes it's been a bit tricky. It's hard to work out exactly what you've got to do, but you have stuck at it. You have worked, and your brains have got bigger and bigger. And I know lots of you, when you have felt like it's a bit hard, it's a bit different at the moment, and I'm not sure. You've tried really, really hard to be positive pandas and to just get on with it and try your hardest. And that is so, so wonderful to hear. We are all spending a lot more time at home at the moment. So remember as well to be kindness koalas. We all get a bit grumpy sometimes. Let's look after the people around us, okay? Be kind and helpful. And remember that everyone loves a bit of a cuddle and a little bit of a chat sometimes to make themselves feel really good. So look after yourselves, look after all the lovely people that you live with. And I am here if you ever want to send me a message. You all take care. Enjoy your maths lesson today. Enjoy all the games. And very soon it is the weekend. Have a lovely funky Friday and I will speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.